All right, thank you all very much. And this is the road show brought to you by yours truly, Councillor Lutrod, sponsored by the Ginger Honey Chips from the War Consult Food and Beverage Industry, we'll call it. But I'm pleased to announce to you that this morning our lecture time is here and we're starting it tell. However, what happens on the road, I will always share with you. So as I start my morning, whatever is happening on the road, I will feed you into it as usual. And the reason is because you need to know what's up. You know what I'm talking about? Let me share a cherished good morning to all of you who have joined me this morning. Eden, thank you very much for coming, and I'm pleased to have you join me this morning. This morning, whatever you see, I declare over your life that if you wish and desire for it, it shall be yours in the name of Jesus. May your heart desire be granted, that as you walk through this week, your life will never ever be the same again. I prophesy into your life that as you think, so will you be. For the Bible says that the way a man thinketh, so is he. Therefore, this morning, I want to encourage you to think positive. Think positive. Think positive. We are in the week of Father's Day. And on behalf of all fathers, I want to congratulate my fellow fathers who have been very good to us in all other lives. I wish my father a happy Father's Day in advance, Mr. Jerry Alexander Lutrot. I wish you a happy Father's Day for your biological position in my life. I don't know what you want to say in advance, but let me encourage you that on Sunday, it is live here on our show, and it's going to blast like fire, where we sit on a round table discussion, discussing a lot of issues, specifically concerning fathers, on the table of boys, now men. There are a lot of giveaways for fathers to enjoy with the family. There are some pizza giveaways, there are some shoes. Like last year, those who came, they had opportunity to have a full set of clothing, top, trouser, and shoes from Bodyline Clothing. Let me say a big thank you to all my charity sponsors who are bringing me this show, this particular Father's Day on Sunday. And I'm thanking them from here. We're going to drink something, we're going to eat something, we're going to, dance to some tune of music. Some musicians are flashing through and passing through, and we're going to do that for fathers. And our father for the year in 2021 is our one and only Honorable Akompre Kennedy Ejepon, whose birthday is on the 22nd day of June. And we're celebrating him as the father of the year and whatever he's done throughout the year. And you know why he's been voted as the best father of the year? He happens to be the father who is taking care of a lot of children which are his and are not his as well. People die before we know the number of children they have. But Honorable Kennedy Ejepon, Akompre Ejepon, has exhibited to us the number of children he has and how he's spending on them. So we think and deem it fit, with all the jury that we spoke to, the board members that we spoke to and brought his name, I nominated him personally, and nobody kicked against the idea that he's a proud father of many children, plus extended ones that he's doing, even as a member of parliament, even as a friend, and as somebody who wants to help the needy. So he's a father of the year, and we'll present to him a plaque in that honor. We have started the maiden edition of Making Fathers Out of Men and presenting award to the fathers of the year. So good morning to you all and a happy Father's Day, a cherished one, of course, to you people and wherever you are. I'm excited to be a father, and let me take this opportunity to say thank you to my wife for making me a father, because I deposited the semen and she received it. The unfortunate thing is that there are a lot of women that after childbirth, they think that sex is over. And it's part of the discussion we are going to have. We have a video that came up, and I think the video is funny, but there's a lot of meat in it. Excuses why women would not want to have sex with men anymore. Yesterday, somebody sent a message whilst I was on show that, counselor, what of the women who decide not to have sex again anytime they think that they finish having children? And I said, it is a good topic. Every topic you think we should discuss on fathers, please don't hesitate to drop it with me. Remember, it is not Husband's Day, it is Father's Day. And I'm talking to prominent people who have gone to interview and they are coming in to come and do it. I mean, maybe women get tired or men get tired in marriages. And we want to let them feel as a man, feel as a woman, because on Mother's Day, we celebrated mothers and not wives. And so today, same year, we'll do same for our brothers and sisters who find themselves in this game and in this particular atmosphere. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a blessing to be part of the game, and it's a blessing to join us and let it work for us. I'm pleased to have it cleared to you that all is well with us and it is well and will be well with my soul. Thank you very much. Chale show who yo. Show who yo. Is there 20 about you? Show who yo. Se si obi so bi akoji 20 well. Chale nya. They see around there nyo. Young man, 40 years. I hear no why you policeman say about it. Next, then they should change the story. A 40-year-old policeman shot.
No, small boy.
Then they should stop the thing they are writing. Because me, who's so yakola? It's a case of 40. Me say, 1 year point now. But picture and then me na yakola. Painful, but I think the other thing I was talking about said we should. How do we stop people from recording such gory pictures? Because if that's your son, if that's your husband, you go to social media. No, what go bad anymore. Yeah. Well, I tell you, whatever goes on the road, I'm going to discuss. Yesterday's gory picture of the policeman, and I was talking to a colleague policeman here, and a friend of the police, and you know, I'm a friend of the police as a road safety ambassador, and I was just talking to a policeman here who is a friend to the guy who says he's not 40 years, and what happened yesterday was very bad. I mean, it was very bad. What money do you want? I mean, what is it? That a young guy on a motorbike, you can shoot somebody, and because they are not shooters, they've not gone for training, they shot the head and the eye of the man. I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad. It's so bad. Very, very bad. Nobody can, I mean, it's so bad. No matter how they are arrested, there's nothing we can do that I think can compensate the death of this policeman. How much at all is he paid? Yes, it's in the line of duty. It's not about the payment, but we should have equal labor for what we do. And I feel sad. I feel sad for Ghana yesterday when I saw the thing happening on the Kolebu Road. You know, about a week or 3 weeks ago, there was a man who was also a young man who was driving, and on Gimpa Road, they threw a stone to crash his car so he would stop for them to attack. What is wrong with these young boys? What is wrong with these young boys? After education has become free, we thought you'd take advantage of this and go to school to get something to do. What is happening? I don't think there's any sign of unemployment like we would think about. It's laziness and quick money. Laziness and quick money. They just want to be rich quick. Drive the best car. They see you sitting in a car and they think it came by. Some of the cars we drive were paid on high purchase. It doesn't mean we are poor. But we thought it wise that for us to carry $100,000 to go and buy a car, and they'll give it to us as $120,000 as Councillor Lu thought, we will spread it and pay in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years. So when you see us driving a car, there are times that the car even becomes older and we've not finished paying. So who are you competing with? What is wrong with the children of today? Well, it comes back to fathers. Bad parenting. Zookeeping and poultry farming. Bad parenting. Bad parenting is the result of all this nonsense in town. Because we didn't think about family planning. I'm not talking about family planning to stop having children. but planning the family so that we know when to have a child, when not to have a child. It's not my topic for today. I'm treating communication in relationship and marriage. When, how, and where to communicate. And if you hear me talking about, I told you that whatever is on the road, I'll talk about it. I told you about that. That whatever concerns me, I mean, it was bad. It was bad. That you can shoot a policeman like that at close range and blast the head. I don't know. I mean, it's a gory picture that when I saw, I said, what? And those of you who were with me on my prayer line, I told you what I saw. That I saw a young man who has gathered human beings like the fence. You know, people use grass as hedge. And those who were you, I saw they were cutting off head. So when I saw the injury, I said, what? How do you shoot a man's eye? How much at all? I mean, if you think you want to rob the man, shoot his leg, disable him, gunpoint, and collect the money and go, so that the guy can be alive again. I heard the woman who saw, the eyewitness woman who saw them they shot the woman, or she was injured and also died at the place at 40. So I think the woman rather is 40. A 40-year-old woman died after being a prime witness at the scene where the policeman was shot. I think that's the story that I read, and not the policeman's age. I pray to God for you this morning that nobody will attack you, even in the line of duty. I pray that whoever will orchestrate evil for your life, the Lord will exchange your life with people and with men. That was our prayer for this week. Our prayer for this week and our prayer for this month is that in the book of Isaiah chapter 43, and if you read from verse 1 right down to verse number 6 and verse 7 and 8, 10, the Bible says that, and I will give men in exchange for you, and give people in exchange for your life. So what will happen that your life will be taken? I prophesy to you and declare over your life this week that anywhere they have orchestrated an evil plan for you, their conspiration will never come to you. It will not come near the dwelling of your children. It will not come near the dwelling of your husband, the dwelling of your wife, the dwelling of your in-laws. They will survive the terrain and the time. Every robbery attack on the road where you are traveling, God will delay. God will delay. And as I said to you this week, your good Samaritan shall appear. He shall delay you getting closer to where the enemy has laid down their camp. The Lord will expose the evil one. The Lord will cause them not to be able to rise up in the morning and walk. Their motorbike will become faulty. You will not become a victim and a harm person in the hands of the evil one. When Haman decided to set a trap so that he would destroy and disgrace Mordecai and the whole province, including Stella, including Esther's story, and what happened was simple. He was hung on his own tree. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever has orchestrated an evil for you, they will die by fire, by fire, by thunder. Whoever has a plan for you in the office, they will die by fire, by thunder. Whoever is disgracing you, has planned a disgrace for you, has set a trap for you in your office, around your house, for your children, for your husband. I declare this morning that by virtue of the authority invested in me as a servant of God carrying power and anointing, this morning everything that has been done against you shall be exposed. They shall be disgraced. They shall be ridiculed. Whoever has taken your picture anywhere, hey, their own will be cut up by fire. Their picture shall be given to the people to kill them, and they will die with blood oozing from their mouth. What have we done to them for them to attack us? May the earth open and every evil person be swallowed by it. As the sun is rising this morning, let the sun rise with curses in its wings for every evil person concerning your life. This morning, I declare these things over your life, and God will sustain you in the month of sustenance and prayer. I am grateful to God for my life and for the life of the family that I had as a father and as a man. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The reason why I came in this morning is our road show. It happens once in a green moon, but this time every week it will come, because we're trying to make sure that we come very stable. Some topics will only be treated on the road. It will constantly be treated just on the road. So thank you very much for coming, MFA. Thank you for being here. 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 The best thing I want you to do is share the page. We are learning. It's a school. It's the school of marriage and relationship. The school of marriage and relationship. The school of marriage and relationship. It's a school for marriage and relationship. So when we are here to come and learn. Communication is what I've been treating for some time now, and it's a big topic, a volume of books of communication. And I'm treating these things because I believe that all of us, one way or the other, are hurting each other in the relationship we find ourselves due to our way of communicating. We learned the 3 basic ways of communicating, and I say it has been expanded to 10, to 12, to 15. A lot of people have done so many, expansion on the medium and the forms of communication. But this morning, share the page with a friend and invite a friend that if you have nothing to do, instead of listening to newspaper review, may you take advantage of this particular time that Counselor Elton is here with you. In the next 40 minutes of our time, as close as I can before I get to Bishop Bowers, I'll make sure in all spheres of life to cut off the video before the video cuts off by itself. Remember that this one is brought to you by the ginger honey chips produced by Counselor Lutrot. This chips is doing wonders in the life of many people. A lot of people are looking for the opportunity to sell. I've given business to people to sell out there, and I want you also to join the train and order and sell for yourself. Whichever area you are, you can come for one and begin to sell for yourself. If you live in Agbogloshi, if you live in Kaswa, if you live in Newtown, wherever you live in, order and sell and make profit. People who are even selling from my hands are making more profit than I do. And it's strange, and I have a reason why I do that. I have a reason why I'm doing that one. I want the product to go to everybody. And this is the ginger chips. I'm going to chew them for you to see that it's very, very sweet. God bless you for being part of it. Share the page and invite a friend to be part of our lecture for today. Usually, we don't know how to talk. Our communication has become faulty. And the reason why we have a faulty communication challenge is because we have decided not to be what God wants us to be, but to be what we want to be. And that is why our communication issues are not going down well. Or better still, we have been told a lot of lies about communication, and they don't know what they were telling us were lies, because they were trying to communicate with us not according to their plans, thinking that that is the best way of communicating. So, ladies and gentlemen, share the page with me. Let a friend be part of what we are doing this morning. I mean, it's sweet, it's nice. It makes a lot of sense when you have people who want to be part of what you are doing. I am grateful for you sharing with friends and loved ones. So communication is what we are discussing here. And I told you so many times, and I'll continue to say it, that communication is a common word that we all use in relationship. Everybody you see, they say communication is a keyword for relationship. Communication is a keyword for relationship. But nobody has taken the trouble to teach us how to communicate, where to communicate, and when to communicate well. And we have gotten to a point where we know the definition of communication for some long time now. And I'm refreshing your memory as students of the School of Relationship and Marriage. And one of the first things I want you to do is that communication is impacting or exchanging information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. Communication is impacting, exchanging information by speaking, writing, or using other mediums. So if this is the basic way of communication, then I told you that there are 3 forms of communication. The basic forms of communication I gave to you, and I told you that a lot of people have expanded it to many forms. Some say 3, but the 3 basic one is writing, it is speaking. So someone will say speaking, but this is how I put it. I remember I told you that communication is by writing, physical communication, verbal communication, and non-verbal communication. So the 3 basic forms of communication is verbal communication, non-verbal communication. So people will write, they will be verbal or they will be non-verbal. These are the 3 basic ones I gave you. But it's also said that many people have gone through a lot of research and said that there are 4 basic forms of communication and the style. So the communication style is different from the communication itself. There's a style that people, and the 4 basic ways of the style is the passive, the aggressive, the passive-aggressive, and the assertive. So the passive, the aggressive, the passive-aggressive, these are the 4 basic style of communication. The passive, aggressive, passive, and passive-aggressive, and then assertive. These are important things you need to know. I'll explain it further and deeper. But if you want to have the basic forms of communication, like I said, it could be these three ones that I talk about, either verbal, non-verbal, or written. So communication could be verbal, it could be non-verbal, or it could be written. So we've explained ourselves so much to where I am. I've told you what relationship is, and I told you the type of relationship we have. That relationship is not just in marriage. It could be a family talk, it could be a family relationship. You and your mother has a relationship, you and your siblings have a relationship. It could be a mother to son, a mother to child relationship. It could be an office relationship. It could be a religious relationship within the environment you find yourself. So that relationship I spoke about, I explained to you that we have different forms of relationship. But here we are discussing romantic relationships in terms of dating and in terms of sex, in terms of baby mommy, baby daddy, because I told you that there are 7 categories of women in the life of every man. For me, for example, the first man in my life is my mother. She's a woman. So the first woman in my life is my mother. The way she communicates with me is mother and son. And I told you the second person in my life is my siblings. Those are my female sisters. My sisters are also women in my life, and they also have a way they communicate with me as a brother and a sister. You get what I'm talking about? Okay. The same way I say I have cousins who are female, so I also have cousins who are women, and they also have a way they communicate with me. They communicate with me not like my sisters will do. So every man that walks on the surface of the earth have different category of women that communicates with them, or different category of people within their jurisdictional despondency. They have a way to communicate with you. So your position and the way they communicate with you is not just for men. For women too, there are a lot of people in their life. There are men in their life, but each of the people in your life determines the way they will turn to talk to you. So when I zero in on relationship, because the man is the head of the family, I'm talking about a man. So when you have a man in a relationship and he has a mother, there's a way the mother will talk to the man. There's a way the sister will talk to the brother. There's a way the cousin will talk to the cousin. So if you don't take care, you will be offended the way my sister will come and talk to me. I'm telling you. I don't have any of the ginger open. Hey, a car. Let me just open and choose small. That's what I mean. If you don't take care, you become offended. The way my sister talks to me. If you don't take care, you become offended the way your wife brother talks to your wife. And I've seen people who are querying their in-laws the way they are talking to their own sisters. That communication is between sister and brother. So when my sister comes to disrespect me, there's a limitation for my wife in trying to approach my sister to reprimand my sister, no matter how old she is. The problem is that she is an in-law, and for that matter, there's a way to handle it. So communication is very, very important in all relationships. So we have relationship with in-laws. We have relationship with mother-in-laws, father-in-laws. So my communication today is about relationship. And it could be written, it could be verbal, or it could be non-verbal. Verbal communication is when I'm speaking. So when I speak, it's verbal. When I don't speak and I pen down, it is also called writing. So I write to you. And in writing, text message is part of writing. Right now, I'm using not just one form of communication. I'm typing and at the same time speaking. So I said in my lecture that when it comes to relationship, one of the things you should not forget is that all forms of communication are employed or are needed in relationship. So when it comes to mother-child relationship, when it comes to a husband-wife relationship, when it comes to family relationship, all the type of relationship that we have, all forms of communication are needed. So the way I communicate with my mother is not the same way my wife will have the right to communicate with my mother. But there's a way my wife talks to the mother that I can do. Because even though I might be a son, or I might be one of the youngest children of this woman, I cannot communicate with her just like a son, because she is my in-law. Now, if it's not verbal, then it's non-verbal. If it's non-verbal, then it's written. So when I send you text message, I have communicated. And I told people that when you send a message to somebody on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and they don't read, it means that your communication has not been established. Because communication is where there is a sender and there is a receiver. So when I drop a message and it has not been received, I have not communicated. We also learned that anytime you want to communicate with people, be careful you know their understanding on how they will take communication like. When I say be careful to know their understanding, if you are communicating to somebody who is visually impaired, if you're communicating to somebody who is visually impaired, and you write for them with a pen and you expect them to read, you have not communicated. So there is a sender, but there can be a receiver. So I had a story one time of, of a couple that were going through a lot of challenge in relationship, and they began to write down their communication. They use one medium of communication. So when the man wants to eat, when he's leaving the house, he will pick up the paper and will write, I'll eat contomere stew and yam. I like 5 slices. I'll be back by 4:30 today. Then the woman will look at it and then will follow accordingly to what will follow, just according to what the husband or the spouse have written. And the way they write it, you have to read it to make it. So that's how it starts and that's how it goes. And unfortunately for us, the couple, according to the story, one time the man had an interview somewhere and must wake up early and go. And the woman got up early because she wakes up early to do all the house chores. And when he woke up, he saw the note that the husband have written on the dining table. Wake me up at 4 so I can prepare and go for my interview that I've been waiting for. The wife was very good at communication. So when she woke up in the morning and saw the note, she woke up exactly at 3:30 because she was preparing according to the story. And when it was 4 o'clock, she took a pen and wrote it just where they've been putting their notes. It's 4 o'clock. Wake up. People, has the woman communicated or not? Let's be fair. Has she not communicated? Because a form of communication is writing. And the way they communicated was to write to each other because they are having Cold War, Third World War in their relationship. But it was working for them to be able to have food made, okay? They want to have sex. I'm going to have sex with you today at 9 p.m. and it's ready. Yeah, I'm not ready for sex. Yes, I'm ready for sex. But here is the time that the man was sleeping and he says, wake me up at 4. The woman wrote it. It is 4 o'clock. Wake up. Good morning. Wake up is 4. Has the woman not communicated? The man slept deeper than he has ever done in his life. He woke up in the morning And the two of them that were communicating through writing to each other, all of a sudden the man burst out. What do you mean? Didn't I tell you to wake me up at 4? Look at the time right now. Driving from here to the interview. You are a witch. You don't want me to succeed. Then they started communicating verbally through quarrel. So the silence was broken through quarrel. And the woman was not talking. Why? Because she has communicated by writing and leaving it on the table. So we are talking about effective communication in relationship and marriage. We need to see that I said earlier, all forms of communication are employed or needed in relationship and marriage. And in the next 5 minutes, I'll be ending the lecture for today. God willing, tomorrow I will be back and come and continue. I'm not using the corner here. I think there's something there. I'll use the other side and see if it will collapse. Because I think my shortcut is also part of my reason. But has the woman not communicated? You can write to me, those of you online. Has the woman not communicated? Because she wrote. She wrote. It's 4 o'clock. Wake up. The man started the insults. You will see what I'll do to you. I'll report you. You go to your mother's house. According to the story, the man was throwing tantrums and the woman was too mature. Because she has communicated. She didn't talk. Then the man just got up, giddy. According to the story, he didn't bath. Rushing to go and meet the people for the interview. Then went to their key place where he has to go and write. Because as he was talking, he didn't go and touch the woman. He was, saying it for the woman to hear. I mean, are you normal? What do you mean? What did I marry you for? How can I tell you, wake me up? And then till this time, when will I get to the place? How will I do? Then, according to the story, he will pick his phone and he want to call somebody and say, Charlie, can they extend the time for me? And showing signs and telling the woman, you are a bad woman. You are very wicked. You don't want me to succeed. You think I'll not make it to this interview. God will punish you, and did all the things because he thinks there have not been communication. So my question is, did the woman communicate? Has the woman communicated? Did you see the form of communication they were using in their marriage? Did the woman change the form of communication? But when it became difficult, he didn't write all the things he wants to tell the woman from the heart. He burst out. But the woman kept her silence, still maintained her maturity, didn't respond to one word. When the man went to their dining table where they write notes and leave for each other, saw it's 4 o'clock. Wake up. Now come and see. When you write and put it here, she did pa. Thank you, my dear MFA. MFA said the woman did pa. I like the pa. The woman did. When the man went, according to the story, went to the dining table, they are writing corner, and saw it boldly written, honey, it's 4 o'clock. Please wake up. The woman could have at least tapped her. Hey, the woman could have at least tapped her husband gently at the shoulder, at the without uttering a word. How? So that she'll go and get a slap. You are not in talking terms with me. When you want sex, you write. When you want to eat, you write. When you're leaving the house to work, you write. When you were making the request to be woke so that I wake you up, you wrote. Why do you tell me that you go and tap his shoulder for him to wake up? Let's be fair. I'll be reconnected. Thank you. I have just been reconnected, I think. And sorry. So let me just read it before I wrap up, because it's close to wrapping up. So the first, the woman could have at least tapped her husband gently for what? We are not talking. Did she write? 3 forms of communication: written, verbal, non-verbal. She wrote. She wrote, let's be honest, small. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Sophia, you are sitting there. Hypocrisy in the US. Shame on you. The man said, wake me up. Didn't the man write? Sophia, the woman too wrote. Why didn't the man open the mouth to say, Sophia, wake me up at 4 because I have a meeting? Sophia, be fair. That's my girl in the US. Sophia, you don't look for me. Shame on you. Bring yourself this morning. Yes, she did. Wow, I love that. Yes, she did. Through the usual form. Congratulations. Millicent, I agree. I love the way the woman did. Whoa. Mini po ngoneke. Mini po ngoneke. And then Paul says, she did. Wow. Then Eagle says, yes, she did. Then Minta says, she communicated. Yes. So you agree with me. But we need to find that effective way of communicating that will bring an enhancement in our relationship. And that's what I said from the beginning, that when it comes to relationship, all forms of communication methods are needed. Sorry for the shaking. Today, I've told you the story of a certain woman. I don't know what you and your partner, your husband, you are going through. Are you on Cold War, where WhatsApp messages, audio, and write-ups are what are using? Now people will want to communicate with their spouses when they are, and it is about write-up, it's about a long letter, it's about an audio. So they come to your office when there's conflict resolution and they have a long audio. We are recording each other. Yes, it's a form of communication. We are recording each other's evidence. Friends, how to communicate, where to communicate, when to communicate in relationship and marriage. And today, I've given you an example on how to communicate. And the way the how has made two people fought. The story said, the man went and he never had opportunity because he got there at 11. Wrong time for the interview. No explanation. Who are you explaining to? My wife didn't wake me up. That is a lie. God will punish you for saying that. Because your wife did through the right medium of your main way of communicating. I provoke you this morning on 0277 609 644. 0277 609 644. 0277 609 644. Why am I provoking you? Any form of challenge you have in your relationship, call me. Let's resolve it. Don't wait until you become disgraceful, or you lose a bigger deal, or you lose your sense, or you become something else before you begin to talk about communication. Don't wait. Because time and time wait for no man. A stitch in time saves 9. What issue is it? What is the problem? If you are tired of the marriage, don't stay in and destroy yourself. Walk out. Don't use your children as medium of communication. Tomorrow I'll continue on the how. These people were using write up. Write up. Wake me up is 4. She did. Wake me up is 4. He lost a bigger deal. But when he was angry, he was speaking back to the woman. What was damper? Then how? Wouldn't himself become baby? Me pay for me bone some. Yes. That edge, that anger, that furiousness, that fury in you, that displeasure, let it become your way of resolving that misunderstanding, that misconception, that misinformation. Let us find a way to resolve it. Communication is very important in our relationship. But the how, the when, and the where is very important. This morning, I know you've learned a thing or two. I know it's been productive unto you. But if you have any challenge, 0277 609 644. Share the page right now with your husband. Share it with your wife. Their how is important. Because each of the people in our lives, when it comes to relationship, there is the how to communicate with them. There is the where to communicate with them. There is the when to communicate with them. There's a way my sister talks to me. It might not please my wife, but that is the way we talk. There's a way my mother calls me. It might not please my wife. But what can she do? Somebody made a statement. And for me, she was being honest. But within where they were standing, I realized that she was not being fair. Was speaking back to the director. Is that how you talk to your wife in the house? Is that how you talk to your wife in the house? My sister, you are not the wife of the man who is talking to you. Why do you compare yourself to the wife? Is that how you talk to your husband? Is that how you talk to your husband? See where I am. I promise you I'll tell you whatever is supposed to be done. In the area where I find myself. Very, very, very important. I am ending my video for you this morning. And I know that most of us are guilty. I know very, very well that most of us are very, 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 very guilty. Very, very guilty. Myself, I know I'm guilty. I know that I'm guilty. And in my guilt, I will want to change. But you too, you have to change the way you communicate. I don't know. But just maybe. Just maybe. Just maybe. I have saved you from a lot of trouble. I've saved you this morning maybe from a lot of misunderstanding. Maybe I've saved you this morning from something you've been fighting for long. This morning, as I wrap up with you, this morning, as I bring to a close the discussion for today, don't use the wrong medium to communicate in marriage and relationship. You might lose it and you won't get it again. 0277 609 644. 0277 609 644. By the grace of God, And by the power and the wisdom of God, and by virtue of the things we have learned, we want to impact. This has been your road show with Counselor Lutrot, brought to you by Ginger Honey Chips. Order your own on 0277609644. It's very